It isn't just in polling that Donald Trump is feeling the country turn against him, either on his policies or in general on the economy. It's more than just that. Although there is one more interesting poll I want to talk about, which is he last week decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna distract all these damn peasants. I'm gonna talk about Zelensky being a dictator who invaded Russia. And you know, when I first saw that, I thought, oh dear God, this is gonna work. Our country is easily propagandized too. No, it's not actually working. Nearly twice as many Americans view Trump himself as a dictator than view Zelensky as a dictator. 41% of the country believe that he's a dictator. I would say more on the path to it. He's certainly ruling as if he is the only power that matters. That's been fairly explicit with the Napoleon stuff and the King stuff and all of that. 45% think that he's not a dictator. So 41, 45, pretty split there. I kind of feel like that's not good for a democracy personally, but that's where it's at. By the way, way more women think that he's a dictator than men, only 35% of men. But to be clear, the societal pushback against Trump is not just in defying him on the polls or disagreeing with him on foreign policy. When he took over the Kennedy Center, you saw that he installed himself as the chairman or whatever. Their ticket sales have dropped 50% since then. So even just his name being affiliated with a cultural institution, it's pretty much dead for people as of right now. They don't want to be involved. Obviously, a lot of the board resigned and all that, but now the tickets are down. US economic growth has also stalled, and so that's a sign of US consumer confidence dropping over fear of the tariffs. I know obviously stocks are not the real economy for most Americans, but the stock market also had a big drop over the last 3 days. And so none of this is good when culturally and economically and both domestic and foreign policy, you're not doing well. And I love to see it, JR. I want to see, and one of the reasons I'm focusing on this is we had so many people in media and media outlets, newspapers, and in politics and in the economy, these CEOs, all of them bowing down to Donald Trump because they were all fed this line when the election happened: America has been remade. America goes MAGA. No, America didn't even 50% go MAGA. Now, he won, that is true. I'm not a January 6th insurrectionist. I don't deny the result of elections, but it was not a remaking of American society. And we knew that a correction was coming. Certainly I knew that a correction was coming, but I feel like we're already here in so many different ways. And so I don't know, is that enough to give you hope, or with the next elections being 2 years away, presidential election 4 years away?
No, let's get to the answer. No, this isn't giving me any kind of pause or peace or even a positive look forward. 2 years away, bro. Guy just started his presidency, a month and a couple days ago. And this how much he's already dug a hole. The problem with, we're seeing polling, we'll see people losing confidence. We'll see folks that are upset about the results that come from this. But the thing about dictators, specifically about these fascists that are in office right now, is they knew that people would dislike everything that they're up to. They knew that they'd be screwing over MAGA voters. They knew that they'd be screwing over all the people that somehow believed in them, but then still didn't see themselves as supporters of bigotry and racism. Fine. But the thing is now, once they implement the change to society or the societal change and overhaul of our government, all those were done so that once they have got the stranglehold, they want to have many ways that they can't let go of it. So look, we got the guy, they fired the Joint Chiefs of Staff and they're going through this military purge. Again, something else that was said during the campaign that they would be doing, and all the people with TDS were talking about, once he starts trying to take over the military in a way that it's his personal, his personal group of soldiers or personnel that he can do whatever he wants with, that's lethal force. There's a reason why Pete Hegseth, the empty-brained Pete Hegseth, except for the alcohol that's bobbing around in there, the reason why he's in place is to be the guy who will do whatever it takes to make this happen. So once people enough, this is what I hope doesn't happen, figure it out, he's like, well, it's too late, bro. Please come to the streets. Think about what happened. I forget Washington Square when folks came out and he wanted to shoot protesters in the legs.
He did,
but there was people in place that said, listen, bro, that's not how we do things here. This is not a dictatorship, and this is not some country where you can start shooting your citizens in the streets to make sure everyone else knows not to say anything in opposition to you. But this is where he would like to go with these things. And once we're in that stage, it's just dictatorship that we talk about in other parts of the country, other parts of the world. So my hesitancy and being wishful of 2 years from now is they figure in 2 years from now, let's make sure that's not really much of an option for many people. maybe that's doomsday talk, but that's how dictators and fascists work.
Wow. I don't have the hope anymore. No, I'm kidding. I still have some hope. I understand what you're saying. I am worried about that as well. I really hope that it doesn't come to that. I mean, there is a reason you put a person like Pete Hegseth in there, and it's not because it's what's necessary for a strong America to defy its foreign, and that's not what it's about. I love the idea that now, anybody who's been watching for a long time might know I used to host a show called Think Tank, and the logo was like a fish tank with a brain floating around in it. I love that that's his skull, and it's just like Long Island iced tea and a tiny little brain floating around.
Was gin his drink of choice? It was gin or one of those, maybe vodka.
I don't know. Whatever he needs to work up the courage to. Well, I was gonna get into allegations. We don't have to talk about that right now. Evidently, they don't matter in America anymore. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.